Welcome to the Elevating La Cultura podcast, a space where I talk with Latinas who are passionate about what they do and are willing to share that passion with others to change the narrative, especially for the next generation. Each season is centered around different topics, but all with the Latina perspective. Welcome to season 11, where I'm talking all things finance. I'm so excited to share these powerful conversations. So vámonos, and let's get into it. Julissa was born in Morelos, Mexico, and immigrated to the United States in 1993. Over the years, she's held various jobs, but her most impactful roles include serving as a case manager for 21 years and transitioning to the insurance field in 2018. These experiences have shaped her passion for helping people. Julissa takes pride in educating clients, ensuring they understand their coverage, and finding the best solution for their needs. She is a proud wife and mother of 3 adult children. Her eldest daughter is a talented graphic designer. Her second daughter is preparing to become an English teacher, and her son is pursuing a career as a high school math teacher. She currently lives with her husband, adorable Yorkie, and her supportive mother-in-law. Her journey has been one of growth, resilience, and dedication to serving others, and she will continue to strive to make a positive impact in her community. Please enjoy our conversation. Hi, I'm so excited to chat with you today. I met you, I think, was it like at the end of last year? And we've stayed connected so far. And I'm just excited to have you as a guest on the podcast this season. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, Karina. Thank you for having me. My name is Julissa Sprycha. Some people know me as Julissa Ortiz. That's my father's last name, so proud of it. I was born in Morelos in Mexico, and I'm an immigrant. I came here in 1993. I am an insurance agent with Country Financial, and my passion is helping the community understand their coverage for their life, home, auto, and commercial. A lot of our people have business and they don't know that they have to insure it. So I prioritize trust, reliability, and I always like to be on time. Sometimes my friends call me the fake Mexican because we're always late, but it's not true. I'm always on time to serve our community. I live with my husband, my mother in law. I'm an empty nester, kind of, and I live with my Yorkie. I'm a proud mom of 2 daughters and my son that is going to be turning 23 at the end of the month. And he's a student in college. So that's me. Family and community is everything to me. That's what I am.
I love that. And I used to have a Yorkie too, and I loved my Yorkie so much. Like I would put him in like my sweater and take him as well
They have a,
wherever I could.
yeah, they have a big, big personality.
Yeah.
They're very demanding. They're the boss.
Yes. Yes, my tiny little Yorkie would bark every time someone came to the door, and then whenever they'd come in and like start petting, like he would just love it. And I'm
Yeah,
just like, why are you so aggressive to begin with?
yeah, they feel they're lions. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, when we met, I really appreciated like learning more about what you do, especially since you're located in Hinsdale, right? Like the
It's
office.
Brookfield.
Oh,
We
okay.
are close to Lions. I'm on Ogden Avenue. I live in Oakland. I belong to the Aurora office where my manager is, so I'm all over the place. So what I like to say is like I can serve anybody and everybody in Illinois, Indiana, and Missouri.
Yeah. And what you said before is so right. Like people don't realize how much insurance is so important to their lives, to their business, to like everything. So what inspired you to get and pursue the path of finance or like
Um,
insurance in the finance world?
what inspired me to become an insurance agent? It was like my own experience. As an immigrant, I didn't know where to start. Everything was challenging. All of us become victims of, not everybody is bad, but there's some people that give you the wrong information. And we go to agencies that they don't care about your coverage. They just care about the money, and you're going to show a little paper to the police. And that's what is not the right thing to do. So that's what inspired me, because I went through scenarios. When I came here, we had a little accident. We had insurance, but then the people at the insurance agency say, no, you don't have that coverage. So I didn't understand all that. And I want our community to understand what is the coverage. When they say, I just want liability, what am I responsible for? I just want to do that. No, you're carrying your belongings, your home, your life in your trunk. You have to think about that. And that's what inspired me the most, to become educated on that, so I can pass that information to everybody, not only customers. I have people that come to me and say, I don't want to come to you yet for whatever reason, but can you explain this to me? And I do. I do. That's what inspired me. I wanted to have someone to explain everything to me the same way I try. That's my biggest inspiration. I'm a server by nature.
Yeah, I can tell. And you're right. Like, I feel like a lot of people um, before, like, that were serving my parents' generation, my grandparents' generation, there wasn't a lot of representation in these spaces. And
Mm-mm.
so it was very easy to take advantage
Yeah.
of people and just say, like, oh, this is what you need without explaining.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, then there's nothing you can do to help them when,
No, until something happens.
yeah, exactly. And so I love that because I think a lot of times when we don't know something, like it comes out as fear and then we just don't take action. So it's like, oh,
Yeah,
well, we know we need insurance, but I don't understand all of that. And maybe it's a scam. Maybe I've heard stories. Maybe
yeah,
I'm afraid of like doing the wrong thing. And so then they're just like, I'm not going to do anything.
exactly. And
Um,
that's not the way to go. It's better to ask. And when you are informed, is when you make the right decision. When people say, I just want the lowest limits that you have, okay, uh, this and the A, B, C, D, do you understand? Yes. If something happens and you come to me and say, why you didn't tell me, are you going to say that to me? No. Okay. As long as you understand what you're getting, I'm okay with it. That's because we have to own our own responsibility. We have to be responsible too on the decisions we make. And I want them to understand that. Um, if you're getting the lowest, if something happens and you have to pay over 50,000 to a person, you know it's not gonna come. It's gonna come out of your pocket. Yeah, I do. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay. I'm gonna put the notes because I don't want to be in trouble later. But as long as they know, is I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, speaking of options, I'd love for you to walk us through like different insurance options and what people should think of first. I think we all like automatically think like, okay, we need insurance for our car. But then we if we have like home insurance, but then people who don't have a home like own their home, there is also like renters insurance and like other different options. So yeah, just tell us all about like different options, what's out there, and if people don't have any insurance, like what should be they be thinking about first.
Okay. When you're buying a home and a lender, a bank is giving you the money, they're gonna request that it is mandatory. So in a way, they help you to get the right coverage. How much, if something happens to that house, how much money is gonna need to be built again, okay? Because the bank wants their money. They want the money back, whatever you have that debt with them. So you have to make sure you cover the home. For a homeowner's insurance, you have to cover the dwelling, which is the structure, the contents, which is your personal property, the other buildings that you might have, like the storage, a storage deck, if you have a pool, if you have a garage, maybe you have more things there. One of the big things for a homeowners, those jumping things, those are a no-no. They cause a lot of problems, accidents with little kids, even with adults. So that is something that you have to get rid of it. Yeah, so because it's a liability, it's a big responsibility if you have a big party and you bring kids from your friends, your family, something can happen. And guess what? You're liable for that because it happened in your house. Another thing that they have to understand with the homeowners insurance is some people like to have big parties somewhere else, like the forest preserve, like a hall, like anywhere else. If something happens there, you're liable for that and they can go against your home. So if you have an event besides your homeowner's insurance, you should increase the liability for those 2 days, 1 day. Why? And get an event insurance. Why? Because it's going to affect you. See, those are the little things that people don't know. If you cause something, a damage in the forest, they can go against your home. That's why Cook County is really good about asking for certificates. They want to make sure that you're insured. So that's your home. Once you get your home, who's paying for that? Maybe the main provider is the dad, maybe it's the mom. But what if something happens to that person? Who's gonna continue paying for that house? So it is important to have a life insurance. It's hard in our community to make people understand that life insurance is one of the biggest assets that you can protect. Why? Because that's a legacy. That's something that you're leaving to your loved ones. As Hispanics, we have a lot of things. I'm not gonna leave anything to them. It took me a long time. I worked hard for that. Yeah, but we can be like other communities, like create wealth in our people. So that will be a good thing to talk about to protect your home at least for the time of the mortgage, the 30 years. 100,000 if it's enough, 250. Every person is unique. That's why we have to talk about that. Some people are, oh, it's expensive. I don't need it. As far as I know, all of us are gonna die. When? How? We don't know. But if you want to leave something to your loved ones, think about life insurance. Protect that mortgage. You've been paying for that. So why not to take care of it? The auto insurance is not only what we cause, is what can happen to us. Not everybody has insurance either. So what if I get hurt and that person doesn't have insurance? I have to protect myself too, and maybe the passengers that I have with me. If I something happens, things like that happen. Cars have run into houses. So on top of your auto is that house that you damage. And God forbid, what if someone gets hurt? So it's the structure, is the auto, and is the person. So you have to think about all the things that you're carrying in your trunk. It is really true. You asked me for the lowest limits, according to Illinois, the lowest limits are 2550. When I ask people, do you understand what is 2550? No. Okay, $25.50 is if you hurt someone in a car accident, your insurance is gonna pay 25,000 per person, but 50,000 for two or more. So do you have like 300,000 in your bank account? Because hospitals are really expensive. Because if it's more than 50,000, after the 50, you are responsible for that. That's why I always encourage people to have the 100 300. It's closer to reality. Uh, it's more money. Yeah, but I don't want to pay for something that I don't need. But what if you do, right? Especially if you have teenagers driving, if you have maybe an older person driving, because we become like a teenager at that age. We don't pay attention, we don't hear, we have problems, right? So we have to think about that. Minimum for me is 100, 300, and 100 for damage to the property of others. Autos are really expensive nowadays. 100,000, yeah, it's okay to cover maybe a new car that I damage. What is if it's the latest model for the Tesla? It could be more than that. So the more you think about that, yeah, maybe you're saving $10, 20, $100, but it's covering you for thousands. You have to see how far that can go. Construction materials are really expensive. That's why everybody's complaining nowadays why my insurance is going up, because labor is going up and the construction materials are going up. It's hard to get materials, it's hard to get people to work. So insurances have to like look, and it takes more time to repair a home. It takes more time to repair an auto. Why? Because it's less people working. And that's why our prices have gone up. And it's not only one insurance company, it's everybody. Unfortunately, everybody sees the news, what is happening in California right now. All those fires. It's gonna affect us in a way, but it's not my house, it's not my claim. Yeah, but we are part of this community and it's gonna affect everybody. So we talk about the life, the home, the auto, and like you were saying, Karina, some people don't have houses, but they live somewhere. And the renter's insurance will be like first to have some money just in case you cause a damage to the condominium or the apartment or the room that you're renting. You have money to pay for that. If something happens, let's say this homeowner, he lives downstairs and he's renting you the apartment upstairs, and someone comes and steals everything from the two apartments. Guess what? The homeowners is covered because he has his homeowner's insurance. But the renter, the tenant, is not covered. So you lost all your belongings. Why? Because the homeowners is not gonna cover you. Going back to the homeowners, some people have like expensive rings, expensive charms, earrings. Those have to be protected for the real value and they can be added to the homeowner's insurance. There's more to talk about. Is about insurance for boats, for motorcycles, for everything and anything. And the business. Maybe some people have restaurants, some people have little stores, shop, the lawnmower. Um, we have a lot of people with business. Think about having the right and the correct coverage. Give us a call. You don't have to buy anything, but stay informed. Education is power, and I always believe in that. I don't know if I'm talking too much, but anything that you want me to deep further, Karina?
That was great. I mean, I think like I didn't even think of the liability that could be on me for a party that I'm hosting
Yeah.
that's like in the park because I'm just like, oh, well, it's not in my home. Like it's got like I'm just using space. But you're right. Like you don't think about it until something devastating happens.
Yeah.
And then it's like you are liable and you have to pay all that money. Um, and
Yes.
I think it's eye opening, especially when there is a disaster that has happened recently, and we are talking about, oh, who's going to pay, who's like the insurance companies, like who's like in
Yeah.
charge of this, who are they going after, um, and it could be so stressful and scary. And I just love how you approach the whole situation and all of this talk with such kindness and
Oh,
like
thank you.
understanding and like trying, really wanting people to understand like all of it, whether they choose to insure XYZ or not, like as long as they have that knowledge to make the informed decision themselves, I think is is refreshing.
Oh,
And I think it's so empowering, especially as a Latina, to be in that space and to share like with kindness, because I feel like as Latinas we want people to, like we want the best for people
yes.
and we want people to feel secure and safe. And a lot of times it can just be presented like, oh, well, this is an extra $20 a month and this is an extra $50 a month. And we're just like, with the cost of living, that's hard
Yeah, I
to
know.
like have an extra hundred or whatever dollars a month. But when you think about it in the long run, like if anything were to happen, it just takes one thing to happen, one car accident,
Mm-hmm.
one devastating thing happening to our home, and we go back and say like, I wish I would have paid $50 a month or
Yeah,
whatever it is. So I just appreciate the
thank
way
you.
that you approach these conversations, and it's not with shame, it's with like, I want you to be informed.
Yeah, that a lot of horror stories happen. Some time ago, I started working on insurance in 2018. Before that, I used to be a case manager for the state of Illinois. So I learned a lot of patience and I learned about scenarios that happen and that you don't even think about. So when I started insurance in 2018, I never met this person. And those are the things that you have to think about. He was in his 30s, early 30s. He calls and is like, I need insurance for my home, for my autos, for my and my boat. I got a boat and it was at the end of June. It was gonna be the 4th of July. And it's sad to remember. I still think about him and his family. So we work on everything. We got the home insured, we got the autos, we had the boat insured. And I said, what about life? Let's talk about life. Do you have a family? Yeah, I'm married and I have two little ones. I believe one was 4 and the other one was 2. And I'm like, well, we should talk about life insurance. What do you think? The sooner, the better. You're young, you're gonna get better prices. Your health, how's your health? Good. Do you smoke? No. I'm like, we should start. And especially because he was starting his business too. So he's like, let's talk after the weekend. Let's talk about after the 4th of July. I promise I will call you. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Just think about it, okay? And talk to your family about the life insurance. Like I said, he was maybe like 31, 32. Very lively guy, like a lot of energy. Never saw his face. I only heard his voice. So the weekend for the 4th of July happened, and then the wife calls me on Monday And the first question she has is like, did my husband have a life insurance? I'm like, um, did? I was like, what do you mean did? I'm like, no, we are supposed to talk this week about it. And she just started crying. It's like, he passed away. He drowned. He went to his boat to the lake. I don't know what happened. Him and another cousin or something, they drowned that weekend. And I was like, oh my God. It was hard. It was hard. Why? Because we talk about it. And he was so happy to have that boat. And so I told the wife, I'm so sorry, but we didn't start anything. He was gonna call me after this weekend. And then she's like, I have to sell everything. I have to sell the boat. I have to sell all this. Can you please help me? I helped as much as I could, but what can you say to that young mom? She's a widow now. She's responsible for those two little ones, for the payments of the house, for at least they were starting a business. I believe they have a little money saved, but she had to sell everything, and she went back to her parents' home. So those are the things that I try to instill in the people that ask me for a quote. Later, it's not gonna be less expensive. Later in life, we're gonna have more health issues. Later, we're gonna be at risk. So, when is the time to start a life insurance? Yesterday. Why? Because that's the best day that you can start. And yeah, you can protect your phone, your watch, your auto. Some people that have money, they insure their legs, their boys, whatever. But normal people, common people like us, our life, our home, our auto, at least have that for our little ones. My kids are adults, uh, but they see. I think I push them to be servers too, because my nature, so they can see that and they can talk, and it's a good will to live to them. Just treat people the way you wanna be treated. And we go back to the your first question: why? What inspired me to do this? I think all the things that we have talked about. Just educate everybody, every person that I can touch, even a little bit, is good.
Like it reminds me of the metaphor of like you're in a plane, you need to put your mask on first
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
before like helping other people, because if you're not like secured, insured like your life,
Yeah.
then you can't like does it won't matter like if something devastating happens, which is so scary to think about, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like better to think about it than not, and then
Exactly.
like then that falls on the people that are still here to figure everything out. So yeah, I appreciate you sharing, and that is such a sad story, but
It is.
it's a story that kind of puts things in perspective as far as like, oh, because a lot of times we procrastinate and we're
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh, we'll do it next month, or like, oh yeah, I want to get through the holidays, or I want to do this first, and then we'll talk about insurance.
Yeah.
But there's no better time to talk about it than, like you said, yesterday.
Yes.
And yeah, in the years that you've been working in insurance, like is there anything that or challenges that you've had to overcome that you didn't necessarily think that you
Mm,
would when you started out?
yeah. Um, I think one of the biggest challenges is the rejection. You know, when people say, no, I don't want it. Sometimes it's hard to not take it personal, and but I try. I'm like, okay, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me, it's the price or it's the company. Um, but that's one of the biggest ones, like rejection. You're explaining and putting your heart and trying to, oh, this is the discount, and they say, ah, no, I found someone cheaper. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's one of the things I hate sales. I really do hate sales. I know that's what I do, but I'm trying to take another perspective. I'm not selling anything. I'm educating you and giving you the choice to pick what is good for you. I'm not selling you anything. I'm just helping you to protect what matters the most to you. That's the rejection is one thing. Um, Competition is a big, big challenge. There's a lot of good people there, but there's a lot of people that they don't care. And that is on every business, not only insurance. Uh, when they say, oh, but that person is giving me the same coverage like you, and you're charging me more. I'm like, let me review it. Some people do allow me, some don't. And when I review, it's like, yeah, but look, and I'm honest, when I found something that is even better than mine, I'm like, you know what? Stay with them. My respects. Stay with them because they're giving you a good coverage. But when I see someone that is giving you a deductible, a high deductible, and that you're not gonna have in your pocket if something happens, I have to tell you that too. It's up to you where you go, but that's the thing, the competition. Um, Sometimes maintaining my own motivation is hard. Like, I think all of us go through that. What am I doing? Is this the right thing to do? Am I really making a difference here? Is it good for me? Because I have expenses too. We have to pay for our house, we have to pay for our cars, we have to pay for our own insurance. And that's one of the things that I think are my biggest challenges. I'm trying to take the positive side all the time. Like, not everything is forever. So, neither good, neither bad. So, take advantage of that. So, that's one of the things. And the rejection, it was and when they cancel the policies, like, I have friends that they rather to call corporate and cancel the policy. I'm like, why you didn't tell me? You know me. Just call me and cancel. I'm not gonna force you to stay. Uh, but it's part of our production, and if you're getting cancellations and cancellation, it's gonna affect my income. So I have to think about replace all those cancellations with new people. So those are, I guess, to me the biggest challenges. And I think for everyone that has is on sales is the same thing, I believe, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I've heard that before too. And I appreciate you sharing because it's sometimes it's like we only hear like people in sales that are just like, yeah, it's great. Come on, come on. And then I appreciate when people are vulnerable and like real because I want to know that if I was thinking about getting into that
Exactly.
um, business or getting into that profession, like I'd want to know like
The
the
reality.
the reality.
Yeah.
Um, so I appreciate that. I really love chatting with you, and I
Well,
appreciate
thank
your
you.
vulnerability and authenticity. And so I want people to get to know you and meet you and connect with you. So where can people do that?
They can find me on Facebook. I have my page. It's under my name, Country Financial Julissa Sprycha. I have a Instagram account too. They can call me to my office 630-208-4829, or my cell phone 708-297-7663. They can visit me. I'm in Brookfield. And like I say, I work from any place. I can even visit people at their houses. That's the thing I like about this company, that we're not attached to a desktop like I was before. This is a laptop that I can take with me everywhere. I have seen customers 7 p.m. at their houses drinking a coffee with them, or they can come to my office in Brookfield, 9100 Ogden Avenue. We are at the corner of Park and Ogden. We have parking, and you can visit us here. If you need an appointment, just call me, and I can even work Saturdays. And another thing that I have and I really appreciate is I can work from anywhere. If I want or need to visit my mom in Mexico, I have my laptop and I can work from there and I can take your phone call. So that's amazing. That is something that I never had before, and I'm enjoying this, my time.
I love that. I think there's more people that want to be able to work from anywhere.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's
yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, what encouragement do you have for the next generation? I always like to end the episodes with a little positivity.
Um, I will tell the next generation, start young, start soon with your life insurance. Today is the best day for you to insure. I don't have a home, doesn't matter. I don't rent, doesn't matter. I live with my parents, doesn't matter. Why? Because this is the best price today that you're gonna get. Maybe you're not thinking about having a family right now, but what if it happens? You're prepared already. Learn, ask questions. Do not stay with just what the people say. Like I'm not a chef. I can't tell you when the meat is cooked. I can't. I don't know. So look for the professional. Ask questions. There's no dumb question ever. Whatever doubts that you have, whatever question that you have, ask, because that's the best way to learn everything. The other thing that I can tell the next generation is like some parents don't want the kids in the policy. It's gonna be more expensive. And I went through the same thing. I have three that started driving, they had accidents. I went through the same thing. So I know. Um, Start today, put your kids in your policy, because you're making a record for them. And when they become independent, they're going to get a better price for their own insurance. Do not delay. And I can give you an example. I have a kid that started having insurance at 16. When he becomes independent, 23, 26, he's going to have the same price maybe as his parents. But if they don't want to put him in the insurance, guess what? It's triple, four, five times the price later on. Don't do that to your kids. Don't. And the young ones, ask your parent to put you in the insurance. I'll put them in the insurance until an accident happens. No, that is the worst way to start a record. Don't do that. It's like the same with the credit. How are you going to spend money that you don't have? How are you going to pay? So I think that's the main thing. Like, stay informed, learn, uh, do everything when you're young, and maybe try to contact an agency with a person, because a person is going to be better for you to have all that, the answers to your questions, the scenarios, the best options for you than a computer. Yeah, AI, beautiful. It has helped me in a lot of things, but it's not like a person. So try to get in contact with an agent, and that's the best way. So that's what I is for insurance that as I can tell the next generation. Just find a person, connect, um, try to listen because when we are young, we know everything. We're gonna eat the world. We're gonna fix everything. No, it's not true. It's just a stage that we have to go through. But listen, learn, and start young. That's what I will say to the next generation.
Mm, so good. Thank you so much. This was a perfect way to end the episode. And I'm just so encouraged to have met you, to have
Likewise.
you have you here, to just be an accessible, an encouraging like person, like you said, that can help people and walk them through um, something that could be confusing or stressful
Yes.
to think about. So
Oh,
thank
yes.
you so much.
Well, thank you, Karina. Thank you for having me. Uh, we can talk much more, but maybe another time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll see each other soon. I know
Oh,
that we do some events and we see each other in the
yeah, I'll
networking
be
events.
attending. I love your events.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. But enjoy the rest of your day. And we are recording on like a really cold day. So I hope you stay warm and
Yes.
we'll see each other soon.
Okay, Karina. Thank you. Have a good day. Nice to see you.
Bye. Yes.
Bye.
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 Okay, amigos, thank you so much for listening. There will be a new episode every Tuesday, so after you listen, feel free to take a screenshot to post on Instagram and tag at Elevating La Cultura, or send me a DM. You can also comment on our YouTube video if you're watching online. I always like to hear from people and how they resonate with the stories that I share. So leave a review on Apple Podcasts so we can get more ears listening to these stories and we can continue elevating La Cultura. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon, evening, whenever you're listening, y nos vemos next week. Bye.